Hello there, Ray here, and today we are back here on the ProtoTech server. What we got behind us is one of the farms out in the end dimension. This is our mushroom farm, and what we're going to be doing today is working on some infrastructure for the end dimension so that we can hook up all these different farms that we have out at the exit gateway portals and hook them up to the entrance gate portals. That way we can transport the items from these farms directly into shulker boxes and then take those directly to spawn chunks. This mushroom farm here is a design from one of the ProtoTech members, KK, and the way that it works is that the mushrooms we got over here are like the parent mushrooms, and then they'll put off offsprings and they'll put them down over here or like over here, and these are some more parent mushrooms too, and they can put offsprings here as well as here. When they do, they're going to update these observers, which is going to come over here to these observers, put some pulse down into this piston, and then remove the power to this piston, which is going to pull away the block and allow the mushroom to drop down. Now, I built this up on one of the streams, and when I did, I accidentally built this a little bit wrong. I put some slabs here. They're supposed to be solid blocks. That way, it will remove both the block that has the mushroom on it, as well as one on either side, so we don't get mushrooms to sit up like that. So let's go ahead and fix this. All we have to do is change the slabs, just put another slab underneath it, make them a solid block. So I fixed all the slabs, now they're solid blocks, so we shouldn't waste any mushrooms if they fall off to the side. Now the next thing we have to do is add a Chakra Box Loader so that all these items will go into shulker boxes before we send them over into spawn chunks. So we finish it as you see. So what we got here is the farms up above. There's just big, huge, long rows of them. And each row has several mushrooms in each of them. And then they go all the way back to the far end, and pretty much it repeats. The only thing it doesn't repeat is the water here. So we just got some water sources, and that way the water can bring all the items over here. And we're making the water be able to go farther just by having the slab here with water above it and making the items slide underneath. All the items end up going here and into this hopper here. And then from there, we have all the items taken down underneath here. So all those sections are hooked up to this one hopper. And what we got here is just two item sorters. So we got brown mushrooms as well as red mushrooms over here. And then what we got is a Chakra Box Loader. And this one here allows it so that the items will come straight down, all the way down to here. And then they get put into the shulker boxes, which are underneath there. And if there's any items that do not get sorted out, using the Chakra Box Loader, they'll end up in this chest here. So just some building materials ended up there. And this is the chest that we use to refill the shulker boxes. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and put some in there. I got some empty ones on me right now. Now, once those shulker boxes are full, they'll get broken off by a piston, which is right back in here. And then they'll fall down into this water stream. And then we put in just a nice little platform here that the player can walk around. That way the player doesn't fall immediately into the void, because this is out in pretty much the middle of nowhere. It's between the main end island and the outer end islands. And we use that trick that I showed where you can move the exit gateway portals out into the void between the main end island and the outer end islands. And that way we don't have to load anything around here. So if some person's here loading the mushroom farm, they're not loading any Enderman or anything else, so people can still use like the Enderman farm. So the items are shipped underneath the floor. They come up to this item elevator, which pushes items upwards. Since we're still in 1.12, we do have the piston elevators. We're not using any like bubble columns, which come out in 1.13. And then we just move the items over with the water stream directly into this exit gateway portal. Now, before we head off, we'll take a look at the farm. Let's just give a nice little fly around. You can see the farm is right here. It's looking really nice. And this is our mushroom farm. If we want to, we can put more farms in this area because we definitely have a lot of room here out in the void. So let's go ahead and follow the items. If you go through this gateway portal, it will take you over here. And the player comes out, he'll just be set directly inside this water stream. And with this iron bar here, you want to worry about the player falling through where the items will, but the items will still be able to go down there. So that's just an easy way to separate the items without having to use hoppers and droppers. And we started to set up a system to transport the items over to our spawn, but we haven't quite completed it. So we're gonna go ahead and work on that. So we added all this infrastructure down here. These are all some ice paths that are taking all the items. So essentially up above us, what we got is some holes, and you seen there was some moving water. It moves items over through this iron bar here, and it drops them straight down into this water stream here. And then this will take them all the way over to the item elevator that we got way over here. So let's just head over there. You'll see that items go past all this, and we also put in a bunch of chunk loading. So we put all these chunk loading grids. You can see there's also a bunch of chunk loading that goes to a different thing over there. But we added all this chunk loading so that we can chunk load around all the entrance gateway portals. So when the items do come through, they're automatically entity processing chunks, and they can get processed through this ice stream here. And they take them all the way to here, and then we have another item elevator, which is pushing them all the way up past the item elevator that goes from our Enderman farm that brings Ender pearls into spawn. It actually can go right past that without any problem. At the very top there we have our exit end portal. So let's head up there and take a look at that. So items come up through here and then just get pushed over here, and this is exit end portal, and this will take them to world spawn point. And so if we would follow them, just go through here. The items will spawn on top of this leaf block here, then they'll go underneath and go underneath to this carpet here, and they will go all the way down. Got a little road over here that goes underneath of it, all the way down to here. And this is where the items actually spawn. They'll spawn directly underneath that leaf block there and onto the ice path. And we also have a switch that can switch it so we can move the entities will end up down there. So we're running like the shulker shell shucker. We don't want the shulkers to end up inside of our item stream, so we just open that up and then they end up down there by that portal. But yeah, the items will go through the ice path, and then we have a Chakra Box Loader here, and this is used for loose items. But since we have everything already put into shulker boxes, they will be sent all the way back down to this side, and then the shulker boxes will end up inside of this chest place here. Now we just need to set it up so that instead of the items being shulker boxed over here in spawn chunks, we want to directly put them into shulker boxes at the end dimension. So we're going to set something up so that every time we use like the Obsidian Platform, all the different farms that use it will automatically have all their items put into shulker boxes before they come to spawn. And that way we don't have a whole bunch of loose items getting shipped around in our world. So let's head over to our Obsidian Platform and see if we can kind of tidy that up and make it a little bit better. Before we go ahead and work on the Obsidian Platform, I want to go ahead and add the Chakra Box Loader for the rabbit farm. And you notice here, we also added the water for this one as well. And what happens is when the items go through there, they will choose a location that is in the northwest corner from the gateway portal, about 5 blocks away, and that's where they'll try to put stuff if there's a solid block, and also the tallest block, and that's where they'll try to put the items. So the items will just spawn here and then fall down through there. So let's head over to the rabbit farm. So we got the loader built, so this will take all the items that we get from the rabbit farm, put them into shulker boxes. We just pipe around here, pipe them up, and pipe them right directly into the gateway portal. That'll take us to the main end island. Now let's go work on the Obsidian Platform. So we're here at the end dimension, and this is the Obsidian Platform. So there's quite a few different farms that use this. So we got the Obsidian Farm, which has a wither that sits here and breaks obsidian. And then we also got the shulker shell shucker, which shulker shells come flying out of here, hop onto this rail, then go all the way around and underneath, and then back to the overworld and make a huge loop. Also we got here is the sand as well as the concrete generators. They will drop the falling blocks here, and then what they'll do is they'll spit off items, and then the items will flow over here into this water stream, and will normally place down some water to collect all the items over here. Plus we also have the dragon egg generator coming from this platform as well. We duplicate the dragon eggs at different entrance end pearl than we do in the sand generator, and when they come out, they come shooting off to the sides and hit this glass and fall downwards. So there's quite a few different things that use this Obsidian Platform, and what we want to do today is we want to make it so that the Obsidian Platform can be easily switched between these different types of farms without having to change very much. So we're going to be tearing down some of this old construction around this area and putting in some new stuff, try and compact it as well as make it so that all the items that do come from here get taken over and placed into shulker boxes. So underneath down here, normally what we had the items do, we just had them dropping down into a water stream that was down here, and then they'd be taken straight to spawn. Now every item was being sent to spawn, but it's a lot more efficient to do the same thing as we do with our exit gateway portal farms, which is automatically pack the different items into shulker boxes and then send those shulker boxes through this water stream and then into the overworld. So we're going to set up a Chakra Box Loader here that's going to take in all these different type of items and put them into shulker boxes and then drop them into the same channel as the exit gateway portal uses for all their farms. Then all those items will be sent to spawn, and then from spawn they'll be able to be easily organized and stored into item storage. So I went ahead and built up a large shulker box loader. This is a design that Smokey uses, and it's a really nice one because it lacks a lot of redstone dust that other designs have. I positioned it kind of halfway between the Obsidian Platform, which is up there, and the bottom of the world. That just gives us a little bit more room to build underneath or above in case of the future. We didn't want to build it too high because there is a chance that if somebody's moping around here during the dragon fight, the dragon could try to come in and attack that player and also damage anything around there. So we're going to try and minimize the amount of stuff that's up there, and then we're just going to kind of move everything down here. So this is a Chakra Box Loader that we're going to go ahead and insert different amounts of items along here so that once the items come from the Obsidian Farm or the Shulker Shell Shucker, or like the sand concrete generator, even the dragon egg generator, they'll all come down here and then be able to put into shulker boxes. And then the output is going to be sent all the way down to the bottom. Here we got some shulker shells, and they'll just get punched out by some pistons and then drop down here, aligned by this iron bar, and then drop down into this system. And this is the same system that we use for all the exit gateway farms that we have in those exit gateway portals. And those exit gateway farms put their shulker shells into the exit gate portals and end up at these entrance gate portals, and then they're shipped around here and then taken up through an item elevator to the very top of this is our exit end portal. And that's actually our old one from 1.8. We got another one that's in the center as well. But then those go to the world spawn point, which is the point where we can sort them and then store them. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the items for the item filters. Make sure to put in every type of color of concrete, and we'll also do a couple of different variations of the sands and gravel, and then we'll also need quite a few for dragon eggs as well as like obsidian shulker shells. I finished putting in all the different types of items we got here. So on this side we got all the different types of concrete, and then we move into like the dragon eggs, like the obsidians over here as well, and then we move into like the red sand as well as like gravel and normal sand. And I think we're also going to allow it so that these last few ones can be swapped out for whatever. So in case you want to do something specific, you could just swap these out for that specific type of item. And then they'll be put into shulker boxes and then taken all the way to spawn where they should be safe. So even if like a wither would escape or ender dragon would escape and would destroy this, the items aren't here, they're already kept nice and safe at spawn. So we want to get a spot for the boats to be held in for the wither, which is going to be sitting right here. So we need to push in these cobble walls downwards and then put the boats in between them. So we went ahead and we got the two ender crystals supported by blocks underneath them. So when we push these blocks in, they won't move downwards. So let's go ahead and power these pistons. Yeah, those walls there, they're all in place now. So we can remove all this. Now all we have to do is put boats in here, and these are the boats that are actually going to be used to keep the wither in place. So all the walls are in place, and now we'll put boats in here. Typically the boats will be setting on top of the wither's head, and the wither himself will prevent the boats from completely falling to the ground. But when the wither's not there, we actually have this little block here, which a boat should be able to sit on. So let me craft up 3 boats and see if we can get them in there. I think what we should do to get them in, we'll just put a block here in the center of the boat. And the change, it used to be boats would always center on a block, but now you have to kind of click wherever you want the boat to be placed. The problem is, right now with these walls are connected to this block, so they're actually colliding. I can't place a boat there, so I have to use a block that doesn't connect to them. And if I click in the middle, I should be able to place a boat there. I can go ahead and remove that, and the boat should fall down in there. So that's 1 boat. And the reason why we're using 3 boats is because it's kind of hard to hold boats down. If we have just 1 boat there, it'll kind of wobble. If we have 2 boats, what will happen is the second boat will actually prevent the first boat from wobbling. And the thing is, when boats wobble, the wither can actually push up on them and escape. So one of the most important parts about the boats is you have to actually make sure that they're in there. It is possible to place boats inside of blocks. So what you want to do is just click in the boat and right it, and then kind of move it over to the corners. So move it to one corner, make sure it doesn't clip right through the block. So all the boats are in there and they're not clipping. They're being held up by this corner piece here. Now everything should be good. So if we wanted to summon the wither, we could. Yeah, so these ender crystals, they're high enough up so they're not creating fires. Before they were kind of low and they were creating fires. So we don't have to worry about that. To summon the wither, we just need to have a block kind of right here. So that's the only thing we really need to do. And then a couple blocks down here. Obviously the wither would be in here too. But for the most part, we don't have to change too much, which is awesome. We'd also go ahead and like turn this off so the wither could go ahead and be summoned in. And if we want to, we can like get rid of the wither, and then we can turn on this system for collecting the concrete or sand. So we just got some water here inside of a dispenser, and it gets shot out, goes around down here, and pretty much we'll come over here and sweep all the concrete or sand. When it comes through the portal, it will automatically kind of pop off in this direction, so we don't have to worry about anything going off in that direction. And when it pops over here, we will sweep it up with the water, and it gets put underneath of here, and then it gets taken through this water stream over here, underneath here, down here, and then it will fall through these little gaps right here. So you can see this one goes through, and it'll actually fall through little holes there. Then what it does is it ends up down here, goes around here, and then it's going to go through the item sorter. Yeah, so there's concrete sand generator here. There is a Obsidian Farm with a wither right there. There's also a dragon egg duplicator that comes out of here. The dragon eggs will come shooting out, hit against this, and then fall down and break on the chest there. And then on this side, they'll fall, hit that side there, and then break on that chest, and then they come across here. And then all those items will also go the same direction as the concrete. We can also run the shulker shell Shucker, which is the AFK way that we get our shulker shells. And then what happens there is the shulker shells come through the end dimension and they fly over this way. And we have to make sure to turn off the sand generator concrete. You can't have that block there, otherwise it'll clip on it. But then it'll just fly over here, land on this rail, and go underneath of this piece here. So that's just some trapdoors. And then they go this way. This way goes all the way, or the shulkers on the minecarts go up through here, and they go up into that exit end portal. Yeah, and if we want to, we can always go ahead and press that button. We got a bucket of water in there to be pulled in, and then that way we can run the wither or like the shulker shell Shucker without the water flowing around. And the nice thing is with the water over here, as soon as people come into the portal, it will destroy the water here, but the water source doesn't get destroyed, so it can still flow across here and keep doing the same thing. Oh yeah, underneath here, so when the wither sits in here and breaks obsidian, he'll break the obsidian here, and then what we have underneath here is hopper minecarts as well as hoppers that will pick up all the obsidian. And let's go down there and look at it. It's right over here. Yeah, so all these hoppers are picking up the obsidian he breaks, and then they go over here and into this, and then this is supposed to shoot out the item. So what we have to do is just put in an item detection system that detects when there's items inside of it, and then we'll shoot them off into this water stream, and then those items will go the same direction as the concrete. So yeah, we got the dropper system down in here, and there's just a little clock back in here which is detecting if there's any items inside the dropper, and then it's just powering underneath and dropping them out. What we'll do when we run the shulker shell Shucker, we'll just break out some of these obsidian blocks here, and then there is hoppers, well, hopper minecarts underneath there. So we'll allow the shulker shells, after they get duplicated off of the shulkers and they fall down there, they'll also get picked up. Same places like the obsidian, they'll be taken over here. It's really nice to get this built up as well as to put the infrastructure in for all the gateway portals. That way, whenever we build more farms out at the gateway portals, we can easily attach them since we already got all the rest of the lines taking them directly to spawn. And we also sorted out this crazy area right here, which has so many different farms going on. It should make it a lot easier to switch between each of the farms, which is going to be great. And I can't wait to start hooking up all the other farms that we build out here. Essentially, we're going to build every single farm that doesn't have to be in the overworld. We're going to stick out here at these gateway portals. And we'll probably work at that and in future episode. I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you guys for joining as I have fun in survival. And don't forget, I stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. Bye-bye!